Good morning. I'd like to call the April 4th, 2023 bid board meeting to order. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from March 7th.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is financial report. And good morning, Jacob. I don't know if you have a microphone there.
You could.
Why don't you just scoot down to this? You can just scoot down here if you want and join us and not be so far away. Thanks for filling in for Jess.
No problem. So you have the agenda, budget in your agenda packet, and it's also up on the screen. The major changes you can see are the marketing expenses. We've begun spending on those. I'll go through that a little bit later in the meeting. We still have the expenditures for the facade grants and the electricity costs, lights and decorations, but that was from last week.
Is that not? Or-
Last time. So, does anyone have any questions on the?
No, and then our fund balance, we know, I know it's out of here, but do we show that it's out? Other than now the balances went down, but do we show the transfer on here?
And
think so.
I don't believe so, Mike.
It's under poof.
Magic.
It is.
Abracadabra.
Resist.
I think just for clarity, for future, if people are looking at it, is it under here?
Top left, estimated fund balance, 31,000.
Yeah, but it went from,
A
it
big
went from
number
the
down
big
to a
number to
little
little
number.
number,
Yep.
so we should probably have some clarification in there of where it went for
What's
future.
the big number?
284,000 was last.
Yeah, so that's why it shows as only 31 left.
No, I know. What I'm saying is we should show that it went, a line item that says it went out, just so that we know that it went, and not that it just, like, Tony said, poof.
Tracy, go ahead. Sit
my
next to
point.
Mike.
Yeah, come over here.
Us financial guys, they like to see it in paper.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll add it.
Yeah, just so that if somebody looks at this in 5 years, they know why it went poof.
This is like the Price is Right. We'll add that to May. We'll get the.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Reduction on there.
Other than that, any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion in 3 seconds. Everybody wants to get out of here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is Scott's Landscaping. You should have in front of you, now we're going to do another move.
Sorry.
Oh, we are good.
I'm right here.
Now Jacob's going to have to share his microphone. Scott's Landscaping did a quote for the same, basically as last year. I'm not sure if the 5390 is the same base number. And then they did a 30% discount because of this Main Street being tore up. So their total quote is 3773.
I would like to note, I spoke with Jess about this. When the original less 30% due to the Main Street construction was approved, it was kind of under the impression that the sidewalks were going to be missing for most of the project. So that's where the 30% discount came from. So now the sidewalks are going to be intact for the majority of the project. They will probably be doing the landscaping during that time. So we would recommend then that you approve the budget up to the cost of $5390 as opposed to just the $3773. That would still fit within your estimated budget for the landscaping of the $15,000.
Yeah, and then there's another one here for
The beds.
the beds.
So are we going to be, Jacob, are you saying we should be approving 5390 and
2310.
33, or 2310?
I believe Jess recommended we do up to the full cost for both. Once again, that would fit within the $15,000, and just not to exceed. I'm not sure exactly how the price breaks are going to work out, depending on how construction goes and what landscaping is necessary.
Seems really high to me.
for what-
For what he's going to have to be doing. I mean, there's going to be so few people walking around downtown that are going to notice these kind of things. They're going to be watching where they're walking. I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't be done maybe once a month, but I don't think this is necessary. This is high.
Well, the side streets,
Well, that's in the 3773. This is that, what Jess is suggesting is we add back in the 1617 and do the streets in front of the businesses and stuff, which half of them are going to be partially tore out anyway.
Yeah, but I don't disagree. I think maybe you do take a pause. We have some time to address this. Most of the spraying goes on, I mean, it says start in April, 2-week intervals, but we've had a pretty rough spring so far, and things are just starting to become green and growing. I think if you address this in May, and we can gain some additional clarity with Scott's between then, and then by then we'll know too that what's left, so to speak. The sidewalks, it's true that the sidewalks are going to remain intact as long as possible for people to access downtown businesses. But how many beds are left, and how many, let's just see what the next couple of weeks bring, and we'll bring this before you again in May if
And I
that's
think
cool.
not only
think
that,
makes
there's
sense.
going to be all the cutouts for the water mains and everything else that, I just,
hit it with herbicide once.
Understand your pause for that, and we'll work with Scott's to bring back a revised quote
that would be great.
for May.
Thanks. Okay. Okay, we'll pause on that. Roots and branches. I don't know where these 5 baskets go.
Sixth Avenue.
At the entryway, down by me and up either side.
What is that, Settlers Park?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe Old Settlers Park will be where they have the baskets there.
And I even, I'm sure this number for the property owners is going to go down as well, because like myself, I bought them, I'm not going to buy them this year. So, but this is way less than what they did in the past. I think they were like at 7,000, so I don't think this is out of line.
Motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the downtown master plan. Jay, I understand you're going to give us an update?
You guys had this attached to the, agenda packet and have it before you. I don't plan to go through it in the detail that Grafe did, but maybe just a background on the topic, and then we can dive into the PowerPoint, or I can attempt to answer any questions that you might have. The downtown master plan and action plan idea came forward when we started talking in earnest with some of the business community, community leaders about the facade improvement program that has been going on for some time in West Bend, and kind of a revamped focus on the Riverwalk facing as the Riverwalk is closer to completion. As we were having those conversations, the need for a master plan was recognized by the city and by the business leader community. I would say that we were challenged to celebrate the successes that have occurred. Lots of improvements in the downtown area, lots of significant change in the downtown area, lots of business and investment and improvement personally by individuals within the downtown area. But maybe not a cohesive, and I know the bid board struggled with this too. What do we do with wayfinding? What do we do with signage? What do we do with streetlights and streetscaping regarding the Main Street project, the Riverwalk project? All of those things have come before you in bits and pieces over the last few years. I'm really proud of the accomplishments that the cities had a hand in regarding the Riverwalk and some of the Main Street improvements and development improvements that we've had a small part of being a partner with the business community. But at the same time, there's been a desired focus of how does it all work together. And last night's news, if you haven't heard yet, for example, West Bend Transit announced that they are relocating to the BMO building, which is really exciting for a long-term business to stay in our downtown. The office complex of the third former existing BMO building is being remodeled at this time for West Bend Transit, Ben Schlamer's group, to be relocated into. That's really exciting. What that means for them is that they're going to be leaving a long-term presence of downtown. Their trucks just don't fit anymore in our downtown area. It's problematic when they leave in the morning and they come back when they return at the 4 o'clock hour. So I would say that's a prime example of why we need something like this. So that redevelopment of their parcel and the city's parcels that we are selling to F Street as the developer will transform that area, will further connect it to downtown. 107 new multifamily units were announced last night that are going into those few parcels. Really exciting for our downtown businesses, for the bid to be having access to all of the additional individuals that might be moving into our downtown and helping to keep it thriving. Again, how does that factor into the need for a overall master plan? We city staff and the business leader community had a chance to interview some consultants. Grafe rose to the top. That's the presentation that you have before you. This presentation was provided to City Council a few weeks ago, and the council did authorize an engagement with Grafe, so the city is contracting with Grafe. Thankful to the business community who is funding this strategic planning process. Very thankful for that. It's a $110,000 lift, which is a pretty big deal for us as a city organization. And then if you flip to the third page, the first couple pages are what about Grafe? We have had some experience with them in the past. They've done a lot of cool stuff in the surrounding southeastern Wisconsin area, namely Oak Creek, which you'll see a picture of. But on page 3, it talks about what they're going to deliver and looking at a 20-year plan and then also a shorter-term action plan. Like what, now that all this great stuff has occurred or is occurring, now what? So the 1 to 3 years is really the tie of things that can be done initially. And then the 20-year vision is meant to go as far north as Regner Park, as far south as the Tower Heritage Center, south and west as the Tower Heritage Center, the extents of the BID district essentially to the south, and then as far east, including this new project, the extent to Indiana is the program area that they're going to be looking at. And the 20-year vision, they're going to take a few parcels that might have been discussed over the years. What happens if we relocate Fire Station 1 and that parcel becomes available for potential redevelopment? Are there some ideas that could be talked about? Public spaces have been talked about over the years. There's been some bold ideas. We've been struggling for redevelopment. The Gale property, quite frankly, took us a long time to get redeveloped. Now it's basically fully redeveloped. With the West Bend Transit piece, it's the last parcel that the city owns, the last significant parcel that the city owns in the downtown area. And there are fewer public spaces or public type spaces, like even the Heritage Center, that this group is going to take a cohesive, collective look at and make some recommendations for a 20-year vision downtown. The team themselves, some of them might be familiar to you. Craig Hebner, the individual on page 4, far left, he's our principal project manager, really smart individual in the planning world. We met with him a few times. I'm impressed by him. Larry, the gentleman to his immediate right on the photo, Larry Witzling, he's had a presence in West Bend. He actually worked on the cast iron redevelopment, so that whole Point area has some experience. And then Ed Freer, the individual far right on the top row, he was part, and some of you might have walked with Ed when we did the Riverwalk planning. Ed was actually in our downtown and did some of the initial walks when he worked for a different engineering firm at that time. So a really experienced crew. We're really excited about working with them. You guys will have a chance to work with them directly. They'll be There will be an opportunity for bid board involvement. Exactly what that looks like and feels like at this point, I don't fully know. But as a collective bid board, you'll have a chance to provide input on this plan. And then as respective business owners and building owners within the downtown, you'll have the opportunity to participate as well. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, it talks about the engagement plan, community survey, business survey, specifically calls you guys out as a bid board for engagement. Some of the examples, I mentioned Oak Creek, but you can see the photo, I think it's 44A, page 16, Drexel Town Square. It's really known as a place of impressive redevelopment in the southeastern Wisconsin. And then deliverables, maybe on page 17, if you see the two boxes of a 20-year plan and a 1 to 3 year plan, talks about kind of specifically vaguely what they're going to be providing for us, because obviously the details of that are unknown at this point. But we had a kickoff meeting with them with staff. We started providing them with data. They're going to be working in earnest in 2023 on this project. And at this point, the goal or the extended goal, so to speak, is to be done by the end of the year, December of 2023, which is a little aggressive, but it depends on how it goes, whether they can meet that, or if it spills into 2024, it probably wouldn't be the end of the world. Any questions that you have regarding this planning process and maybe how it came about or why we're doing it, or any feedback that you want me to be able to share back with Grafe at this point, I can certainly do that. But you will have a chance to interact with Craig specifically and some of the other principals on the project. If not, I'll just say thanks and look forward to working with you on this. It's really an exciting time for the city of West Bend and for the downtown area. I hope the bid board is excited about this as well, and chance for some outside experts to come in and assist us with how the future of West Bend shall look. 20-year vision is a pretty big deal. It's exciting.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jay. And thanks to the group that's doing it. Main Street marketing update. Guessing that's Jacob.
Yes, that is the last page in your packet. So we have started, we've begun placing orders. I know, Mike, you mentioned earlier, the public parking signs started to go up. The downtown business open during construction signs will be going up hopefully by the end of the week. We worked with Murphy Media to get the billboards. 2 of those designs were due on March 30th, so those have been submitted. They'll be going up. I don't remember which ones are which, but they're the ones, as you can see on the packet, there's the Highway 33 in Shane Har, which is by the Thrivent building on 33 there on the, that would be the south side. There's Highway 33 in Silverbrook by the BP station there, also on the south side, Highway 33 and Highway Z out by Fleet Farm, and then Highway 45 and Highway C, which is out towards Jackson. So those will be the 4 all in the area there. You can see this is one of the designs we had submitted in the last page of your packet, so that one will be going up hopefully soon. And then we have the A-frame signs. We're working with Public Works to get those set to go. They need to be filled with sand to make sure that they don't get blown over with the wind. So I believe Gina from the Downtown Association will be taking those over there today, and we'll get them filled. And we'll have both the downtown parking and the downtown businesses open signs there. Does anyone have any questions?
Just to get these up as soon as you can. Hopefully before the end of the day today. I know there's a lot there, but there's a lot of angst with a lot of people down there, and we got to get direction, and we got to get people into the downtown. I've been doing my best on social media. There's been a lot of people that have been negative. There's been a lot of people that have been positive. And we're always going to have the negative, but we got to keep the positive, and we got to get directional. We got to get information out to people, and not only the people, but us as businesses. I know that The new CSO started yesterday, so that's going to help because Sixth Avenue is full of employee cars. And I talked to the chief about that yesterday. He was going to talk to some of the offenders. He asked me to go get license plates, and I'll be honest, I don't have time. I got to figure out how to get people in my store, much less, that. So hopefully they can get that taken care of, and, we can all make it through this summer and survive. So the sooner you can get these signs up, the better. It's really vital to all of us down there to make this happen.
Is there anything out there that, like, I could go to and find out what stores are doing? You know what I mean? Like it would be
Well-
nice if someone pops in and says, well, what's actually open? And I could say, well, Jeannie at Savoring Time is going to be open, every day, like normal 10 to 5 or whatever. Like, I don't know if some businesses are making some changes.
Well, and that was a question, Peggy, real honestly, that I was trying to address last night on Facebook. People were like, I'm elderly, I can't get in. And my comment was, contact us, because I know, like myself, we're going to deliver. If I have to drive to or walk to a parking lot to deliver something, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, it would be nice if, we had a map. I know there was a map done of parking, and I saw it. And quite frankly, I was kind of appalled because we put the parking signs over the top of the street names. So now if I send this to a customer outside of West Bend, they don't even know the name of the street because the little P is sitting on top of the name of the street. At least the sign the map that I saw. So, yeah, we need to get this stuff out there for the businesses and get this going. And yeah, if we had a collective area on a website,
Yeah, I'm wondering if
we
they,
could-
can they add that to the website through the city, Jacob, at all?
The Downtown Association does have a business
Downtown
directory.
Associ-
Yes,
okay.
they have one. It doesn't have the hours posted, but it does have sorted by category all the different businesses.
yeah, no, we
down
need to
there.
get some, if we can possibly get it on that construction page, because we're sending people to that to get information. If we can get it on there as well, even though it's downtowns, let's get it as many places as we can get it. And then I think we should do some kind of encouragement for all of us to friend everybody on Facebook, and we just keep reposting everybody's stuff and keep everybody's names out there. And, I'd be happy to have my marketing person repost stuff and keep the vibe going if that's what we got to do. So the more of that we can do, I think the better it's going to be for all of us. Any other thoughts anybody else has? Or Jacob, do you have any other thoughts? I know there's a marketing meeting next Tuesday, so some of this
Yes,
can be
next
talked about
Tuesday, the
then, too.
11th, is the next marketing committee
It'll
meeting.
be at 7:30 at City Hall.
Yes.
So I encourage everybody to come and be a part of it if you can be, even if it's for a half hour, doesn't matter. Show up. Anything else on this?
Not on that specifically, but Tony and who else is on there? Tony and Peggy, can you meet with me after the meeting so we can set a time for the employee parking committee to meet? Thank you. Okay, I'm done.
And then just reminders, the first construction project call is Wednesday, April 12th. Just in case people can't see this, you call in to 425-436-6328 and enter code 265580. And it's at 3 PM, and my understanding is those are going to be every Wednesday. They'll be available.
Sure, I don't remember if it's.
Yeah, I think it was every
I
Wednesday.
believe it's every Wednesday.
So get on those calls if you have questions. There's also site supervisors down there that are representing all of us. If you have questions immediately, you can go out and find them. I'm not sure if they're wearing something different.
Yeah, they'll look like an inspector. Jerry Gillis is the gentleman's name. He's older, shorter guy that's our inspector for Kunkel.
I guess to that end, I have contractors and people that need to get downtown, and they asked me yesterday, like, can we drop stuff off? Is something gonna happen if we park down here and to, unload? And I was like, I imagine not. You'll probably just have to move your car when you're done. But should they reach somebody like that first, or?
Yeah, that's, so the drop-off, the delivery of product, that was addressed at the 2 meetings that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely plan to accommodate those kinds of things. I know you're doing a remodel of a building. Yep, it does. So, I mean, if they were coming in with 5 cars for construction workers and trying to be in their downtown all day, that's different.
Unloading
But
2 wet
yep,
doors and walking
yep,
away, yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's different. So deliveries for sure is something that the Dorner construction folks have mentioned that they would accommodate. I would also share, I'm not a construction inspector, but everybody's got my cell phone number. Send me a text. I can find anybody, anytime. I know Mitch offered the same thing, our contracted city engineer, that you can text, call him 24/7. I would offer the exact same to our business community. They can absolutely do that, and I can find people to address the issue. I won't be the guy in the backhoe, but know where to find the guy in the backhoe.
Well, I think it'll be fun to watch,
Yeah, that wouldn't be pretty.
just so it's not in front of my building.
Started yesterday. They are down there in full force if you haven't paid attention, but they're definitely moved in. This landscape of Main Street looks vastly different today than it did yesterday at this time. So thanks everybody for your patience, and we'll get on it and get completed as fast as possible.
So if we call this number, is it just like a recorded message, or it's a human?
It's gonna be a conference call.
A conference call, okay.
We'll have city representatives on the call to field the questions that might be coming in and then relay those to the engineer. But again, don't wait. Don't wait for the weekly call. If you have something that's pressing, the engineers want you to be contacting us right away. This is meant for an update and then to give everybody a heads up of what's coming, what they can expect the following week and what occurred the week previous to that. That's what the free conference call weekly session's about. And, of course, deal with questions or concerns that you might have, but mainly provide updates and give a prospective of what's coming up for the following week. Thanks. 8:45, Paul, I think we're right on it.
Yeah. Lastly, last announcement is downtown cleanup for what won't be all tore up, which is 6th Avenue and all the other streets. May 22nd, 7:30 a.m., meet at 6th Avenue near Old Settlers Park for anybody that wants to volunteer and help.
And the free flowers that you skipped over.
Oh, yeah, I skipped the flowers. Yeah. If you want free flowers, April 28th, and those are, the website is, holy cow, tinyurl.com/bid flowers. You can go on and order.
Yes. That will also be in the recap email today. I'll send that
Okay.
out.
All right. About that, I think we hit record time. I was told that a bunch of you had to get out of here early, so I tried to make.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.